All right, Manny, my boy. Welcome to the podcast, my friend. Thank you very much for being here today.
You're very welcome, very welcome. Thank you
nice
for the invite.
Early. Yeah, man. Thank you. Matt, you don't understand because I've told, I don't know, maybe 10 different people because I was trying to, you were the first one that I told, but I was trying to set up, just kind of like a little schedule to invite people over. And dude, you would be surprised the amount of people just saying no. And then some people were actually telling me like, how much does it pay? And I'm like, dude, I don't even have one subscriber, bro. Like, I guess I could pay you, but
It's all right. You already got me some coffee. It's perfect.
That's your payment for today. That's your payment for today. So I took some notes, just based on a couple things that I wanted to talk to you about, but let's just go freehand. Let's see what we can get. So first thing that I wanted to discuss with you is, well, first, the point of this podcast YouTube channel is that in 2023, I wanted to, my goal was to help people, all right, as much as I possibly could, right? So long story short is, when I was growing up, it wasn't in the possibility for me to help people. I was super broke. I grew up with a single mom without legal documentation. I basically grew up in a trailer park, and at the same time, like I didn't have a knowledge base, or I didn't have the skills to be able to help people, right? So 2022 is one of the best years that I've had in my life in many different aspects. So I had my first daughter. I started my first business venture that was actually successful. I've had a couple businesses before, but this one, it was actually successful. And amongst other blessings that I got in 2022, amongst those being my health started improving so much and my mental health started improving so much. So now I'm at a point where in 2023, if I don't help people, or if I don't attempt even to help people, I won't feel comfortable with myself. I won't, I won't think that I'm taking advantage of the current blessings that God is giving us, right? So one of the reasons why I wanted you to come on this podcast is because you have a very specific story. You have one of those stories that is very inspirational to begin with. But also, I think that a lot of grown men, and by grown men, I mean men that are of age, that are going through or have been through, right? And I think that it is very powerful because if we can help just one dude out there, right, better his life, or even his family's life, based on your testimony, why not? You know what I mean? So that's kind of where I wanted to start off today, and sort of just briefly give us like your testimony of where you were a few years ago. And you don't have to get into specifics because I know it's uncomfortable, where you are today and what a difference it's been, right? So let's just get started with that, and then we'll go into what you did to change.
Well, you're 100% right. We all have a backstory. You have yours, I have mine.
Yeah.
It's just kind of where you want to take it, honestly. Me, I had my first kid when I was 17 years old.
Dang, 17. So you were in high school? Did you graduate high school?
No.
Okay.
I got my GED.
You got your GED.
And I got it many, many years after. It wasn't even like right after.
Okay.
Yeah, so I ended up, moving out of my mom's house, thinking that I knew everything, as every other teen out there.
Okay.
We think we know everything, but I moved out, had the kid, and then eventually came more kids. By the time I was 24, I had 4 kids.
Okay, wow.
So it was very, very young. Struggled a lot, went through a lot of hard times, no money. Wasn't able to eat at times. Didn't want to ask for help from anyone. And when I did, I was disappointed. People told me no. Family members told me no. And now those same family members are trying to reach out to me, and see how I can help them now, because.
And what's crazy is that, I know you and I know you have a good heart. The thing is that sometimes it's twice as painful when people come to you now. You know what I mean? Like, hey, you just gave me your back a year ago, bro. Like, and you probably end up helping them. But the thing is that it's almost, like I said, it's almost twice as painful because you're like, dude, like, what kind of heart do you have? Like,
yeah,
that's.
And you know what, bro? Honestly, I do have a good heart. But to be honest with you, I won't help them. And you know why?
Why?
Because maybe by them turning their backs on me, help me grow as a person, help me push myself to the next step. And if I help them, then they're not going to push themselves to the next step and probably be better than who I can ever be.
Yeah.
But we'll never know that, you know?
Yeah, you just dropped a bomb, because that is one of the things that helped me. Right now, let's make one thing clear, right, to everybody that's listening or watching. It's not like we're millionaires or anything like that,
No.
but our life has changed dramatically, right, over the last year, from struggling financially, like a lot, or having to work so many hours that you don't know what to do, or having your wife have to work, right? And that's one of the things that I wanted to talk to you about too, is your wife. Selena is a big part of your life, obviously, as my wife is to mine, but from having to do that, right? And I think it's every man's dream, at least it was for me hugely, to get my wife out of work, right? Like, if she wants to work, hey, more power to you. But if she doesn't, she wants to stay home. That was like my driving factor, bro. Like, I was not going to stop until I made that happen. And I finally did. And not only do we live a better life than when we were both working, but now she gets to stay home with a baby, and she gets to live a different style of life just because of those decisions that I've made, right? But anyway, so you have 4 kids. You're 24, right? And are you married at the time?
Yes, I was already.
Okay, so you're married. Mm-hmm. And then at some point in time, you get divorced, you lose your wife, whatever happens there doesn't work out. And then your wife, and we don't have to talk bad about people, but then your wife sort of starts creating distance between you and your children, right?
Yeah, that's correct. That person, we'll call her, she started creating this distance between me and my kids that is affecting me to this day.
Yeah, of course.
To this day, it's one of the hardest topics to talk about is the kids, always.
Yeah, man.
And especially with this holiday season, every holiday season, it's a tough one.
Oh, man.
And it's something that I desire no man to go through, because it's one of the toughest pains that you can ever go through. But I had them, how can I put this? They were with me a lot, before all this happened. They were with me a lot. I always had them. After the situation that happened, it kind of just got distanced out. I hadn't seen them for 2-3 years. Finally was able to see them again, and again, just a relapse of, problems and, wanting to involve the kids into problems that the kids shouldn't be involved in those problems. But, she involves them and, makes them think that I'm this person that I'm not. And eventually, distances them from me again. So at this point in time right now, yes, I'm not.
Happen again.
Yeah, it happened again. And it's probably almost a year now.
Man.
But you know what? I'm going to tell you like this, man. We obviously, we believe in God, so I'm going to, how can I put this? Just let that be and let God handle that and let him take care of that. Because as far as me trying to do it with my own strength, with my, what I know how to do isn't working. Yeah. So I'm going to let him take care of it. And when they come around, they're going to come around and we'll go from there.
Wow. Now, if there's any women listening to us, if there's anyone listening to us and you know of anybody that is keeping their children away from their dad, first of all, that is one of the worst things that you can do to children. It doesn't matter how bad of a father you think that man is, those kids need, capital need, their father. In fact, I tell you from experience, man, my mom and my dad got divorced when I was 6, right? And I was born 1990. 1996, my mom decides to move over to the United States. My mom has no papers. I was luckily, man, I thank God every day for this. My mom birthed me in San Diego, right? So I guess they were living in Tijuana when my mom was pregnant of me. Literally crosses the border illegally to have me, right? So, I mean, it was the 90s, man. I don't know how easy it was, but she has been in the States, and then we go straight back to Mexico, right? So my mom, that thing that my mom did, now she tells me stories about how she jumped the border and walked like all kinds of miles, pregnant, bro, like pregnant, like 9 months, like this. That's crazy. So now she does that sacrifice so I can be born in the States, and man, I'm so grateful because my life is what it is because of that one decision that my mom made, right? So my mom gets divorced from my dad. My dad, who is now, he's no longer with us. He died. I don't know if he died in 2012, but Christmas Eve, the 24th of December of 2012, he gets kidnapped in Mexico, in Los Mochis, Sinaloa. He gets kidnapped, and then we just never find his body ever again, right? So in 2012, I just turned 22 years old. But since my mom and my dad got separated, I still saw my dad pretty much every single summer, every single winter break, as much as my mom could possibly allow it, or as much as she can send me down there, because it was costly. I couldn't afford it, and my dad certainly couldn't afford it to go down there. So my mom basically had to front the cost for me to go see my dad. Now, that's something that my mom did that I thank her every single day, because at least I got to see somewhat of my dad, And for a grown man, when you don't have your dad, dude, it affects you in so many different ways. Jordan Peterson says it all the time, but it affects you in so many ways because there's certain situations that you don't know how to act because you've never seen somebody act, or you've never seen a man act or react to a situation. So then you just react how your mom would, right? Mm-hmm. And then so the issue with that is that it affects you in the rest of the aspects of your life, where you don't know how to react to adverse situations because you were looking at your mom do it. Now, it seems like what I'm saying is, anti-feminist or whatever and stuff like that. It doesn't matter. It is the truth. Men, in my opinion, have to have this reaction in there that keeps everything serene and calm. Women can react a little bit more, frantic, but the husband in the household, the father, has to keep the cool, right? And where do you learn that when you don't have your dad around, right? So, for example, your oldest kid, he is 12 now?
No, he's actually 15.
15, dang, man. I've known you for how long? Like 4 years already?
Probably about 4 years. Yeah. Actually, going on 5 years now.
Okay, so I stayed that he was 12, bro. But last time I saw him, he was almost as tall as me. I was like, dang.
Oh, yeah. He's about to be 16. 16 this year in October.
So, I'm sorry that you're going through that, but this is one of those situations where if we can help someone out there that is listening, if you have a 16-year-old son, it does not matter how bad you think his father is. You let him see his father, no matter what. Now, if the father is a assassin, drug dealer that runs the streets, I understand how you have some hesitancy, and maybe in that situation you don't allow your son to go visit the dad. However, though, if he's just a regular dude that you personally don't like as a female, you are doing your son the biggest disservice that you don't understand the damage that you're doing to that boy. So it's that's one of those situations that I think if I could choose to do things over, is I would have so many more conversations with my dad, different conversations that I never got to, just because I always thought that he was going to be around, but it is what it is. So you now, let's go back to about 4 or 5 years, right before I met you. Mm-hmm. You moved back in with your mom.
Correct. Yep.
Right. So you're living with your mom. You basically go from having a family, having a house, having 4 kids, having a wife, everything that goes along with it, having cars, to boom, you're back living at your mom's house.
Yeah. Yes, it was like a thunderstorm in my head. Everything goes away. Yeah, I go back to live with my mom. Who wants to go to live with their mom again? No one, right? Yeah. I go back to that same room that I grew up in. I go back to that same room. I'm there with my mom. I stayed there probably about 3 or 4 years solid. This whole time that I was there, going through depression, I even became not an addict of drugs, but an addict of cigarettes. It was that bad. it was to the point where I wasn't making any money because child support was out the roof. Any little money that I would get, just to pay my phone, gas, car. Which at that time I even lost my car, so I had
you couldn't afford it.
I couldn't afford it. So they came and took my car. I had to use my mom's car or my stepdad's car. Had no money, and the addiction was becoming greater and greater, and the depression was becoming greater and greater. Every day was harder to wake up and harder to go to sleep. Trying to go to sleep with 1,000 things running through your mind is hard. Waking up. Usually you wake up, you stretch out, you're like, what a good day. You get your day started. But when you wake up and then at that very second, you have 1,000 things running through your head again, your kids, your situation, yourself, all that stuff just puts you in a mood that you don't even know where to start. You don't even know how to get out of that hole of how do I become better today? And especially with having, my mom is always there. So is my stepdad. They're always there. But you always, I guess in a way, you need someone who's going through the situation, to kind of like talk to you about it. Yeah, to understand you. Because otherwise, you take your mom's advice, you take your, whoever's advice, and it kind of just sits there and it lingers. But I guess it's up to you if you take it or not. In that moment, it's very hard to take it in because if you've ever been in a situation of depression, it's all what's in your head. You're really not receiving any new information because you're not trying to hear it, because you feel like the world is against you. You feel like everyone's against you. You feel helpless. You feel like you can't do anything right.
Yeah.
So I go back, I'm there. I start working a job and eventually I lose that job too. I was going to dead end jobs. I was, security, making $14 an hour, trying to put all these hours, finally, one day, I'm gonna say it, babe. I'm sorry. I'm going through my phone and I seen, this girl, she's selling cheesecakes,
So wait, but you saw her on your phone?
Yes. Facebook.
Oh, so she posted selling cheesecakes.
Yes.
Oh, and you were like, who this fine shouty?
Yeah. So then I eventually I became friends of her brother.
Okay.
And that's kind of how I got in. We can't. Yeah,
I didn't know that story. I didn't know that side of the story.
Yeah. So
I just knew that you guys met on Facebook, but I didn't.
Yeah, exactly that.
Okay.
Facebook, and I started talking to her brother, and he invites me over one day, and I'm there, like, hey.
Oh, hey.
I
didn't know you were going to be.
Yeah. I just asked for a little slice of cheesecake.
Okay. Was the cheesecake good or what?
Yeah, it was bomb. You already know. So, that's how we ended up together. And honestly, that's what started this whole career path, career change, life change, was the fact that my wife, she obviously into church, into God. At that point, I didn't believe in God. At that point, my mind was dark. My mind was, I didn't know anything about God. I didn't want to get close to him. I thought he was against me. I thought everything was all bad. And eventually, she started taking me around, started meeting you guys, and met some new friends that kind of helped me change my mind, helped me change the way I was thinking, helped me change my situation. I saw some real people with real problems, but they all went through it in their own way, and little by little, life started changing, man. And, we've been through some hard times, and she was working at the time selling just, cheesecakes and selling all this stuff on the streets.
Yeah.
And going from taco shop to taco shop, and eventually that was one of my dreams too. Like you said, was to get her out of work.
Yeah. Now, Selena would be a good person to have on the podcast too, because Selena is a crazy hustler. By the way, if you guys hear any noises, it is my dog. He'll be walking around. Just ignore him. He's a big old lab, and he's a marshmallow. So you guys will see him. The more podcasts we do, the more videos we do, the more you guys are going to see see this guy. So
He's out here. He's trying to talk.
Yeah.
What you got to say, Dingo? Yeah? You're hungry?
But anyway, so let's go back to Selene, because she is a huge part of your life, right? And the thing is that Selene is she is an extremely impressive woman. So first of all, I didn't know this when I first met her, man. She only lived off of hustling cheesecakes, hustling cakes, hustling basically food that she would cook at the house. And sorry, man. Dingo, go bed, buddy. Go bed. Go bed. Sorry again, everyone. He loves attention, as you can tell. Anyway, so Selene, and I find out that she is hustling cheesecakes like that. So this one time I was working at JP Morgan, right? And and we went to this taco shop over in Phoenix, which was maybe it's really, it's decently close, right? So a couple friends, we go and have lunch at the taco shop, and then out of nowhere I see her there, and she straight up has like 5 cheesecakes in her hand, and I was like, dang! Now this is before you met her. And I was like, dang, like how, honestly, dude, I'm in sales, right? Like I have no shame in my sales game. But the fact that she can do that, bro, that's a whole different level of ballsy. Like a whole ass different level of ballsy, dude. Like that, I'm like, dang, dude, like how do you even do that? You know what I mean? And that's something that I would like, to do a podcast with Selena about, like, how do you get into that mental headspace? Because maybe when you have kids, it's not optional. You can't really work an hourly job. Why? Because you have to drop kids off, you have to pick them up, you have to do breakfast, you have to do dinner, so on and so forth. And it makes it so that it's not optional. Who knows? That's something that maybe she has to explain. But so you meet Selene, you make your moves to meet Selene, right? And I know Selene is a big part of your improvement in your life, right? And the thing is that for all the men that are listening, hopefully it's at least 3 men that get to listen to this conversation on how you went from living on your mom's, basically, let's call it basement, right, in one of your mom's rooms, to now having your own house, having, I don't know how much I can share because it's your private life, but having 2 brand new cars. Your wife doesn't work. You guys have a beautiful home, dude, with my dream collapsible. You know what I mean? Like those. That's like my dream. And you still live a simple life because you choose to, not because you have to anymore. Which is it feels totally different, bro. When you have money and you wear that same shirt every single day, it feels way different than when you're trying to buy a shirt and you can't. You know what I mean? Like, it feels way different, bro. Like, I remember wanting to buy this guitar, this one of those little Taylor GS Minis for those musicians that are out there, and I wanted it so bad. I almost put it on a credit card when I didn't have any money, right? Because I really wanted, and and then I started, business started to go well and stuff like that, and now it feels way different because I don't have it, because I'm like, I'm just going to wait versus like, oh man, I can't afford that at all, dude. It's a world of difference.
Oh, right.
And so we're going to talk about how Manny got to where he's at now. And what kind of clicked in his head. Yes, Selene is a big part. And I know he credits Selene a lot. I know you credit Selene a lot. But the thing is that there's also certain decisions that you made in your life, certain things that you started changing in your life that somehow led you to here. Now, a lot of people, or maybe even you sometimes, or maybe even me, can be like, well, it's just destiny. Destiny put this job in front of me. Destiny put this gig in front of me, or it was God or something around those lines. But at some point in time, you have to do the work. You have to do the commitment. You have to say, you know what, today life changes, right? And you actually have to make the phone calls. You actually have to make the sales. And how do you get there for somebody that's in the situation that you were before?
Well, first and foremost, I think always be determined to get to that next level. Don't be money hungry, I guess, in a way. And yes, be money hungry, but how can I put this? Always be determined and never give up. Don't do it for the money all the time. Do it for the family. Do it because you're going to get your family to that next level. The money will come with always. The hard work will always come with rewards. So the way you get there for me was Obviously, letting go of bad habits, bad thoughts, negativity. Try to change my days from negative to positive, and stay determined and keep pushing to that next level. If you have a $15 paying job right now, work it like it's your last day, work it like it's your last job, work it like it's paying you $1 million, because you have to put in the work. Nothing comes easy. Nothing's going to, magically, money's not going to appear in your bank account. I feel like you put your hardest work in anything that you do, no matter what it is. Okay. No matter what it is, because God is going to reward you. But also, like you said, you're going to make decisions as a man that are going to take you there.
Yeah.
And because you have those good work ethics, because you have that responsibility, because you have that mentality, it's going to take you there. You're not going to be in that 15-hour paying job forever,
No, you don't just preach this. You live it. And I remember because you, before this current gig that you have right now, you were working in some sort of construction job, right?
Yes.
You were remodeling? Is that what it was?
Remodeling,
okay.
Yep.
So you're doing remodeling. And I remember because you and I were really, we've kind of always been close, but at church, you were kind of like my right-hand dude, right? And then out of nowhere, you started like missing. Why? Because you're working so many hours at your old job.
Right.
Now, eventually those hours, because you were paid hourly, you started making some decent money and stuff like that, but nowhere near what you are right now. But still, you started making some decent money and started life to change a little bit. Now, the reason why I say is that you practice what you preach is because you were working that job as if it was paying you millions of dollars, and you were giving it your all. You were committed. You were there no matter what, right? And what that did, and correct me if I'm wrong, what that did is that created a monster inside of you that when you got to your current opportunity, you were not going to be stopped. Like you already had the backbones. You already had the architecture of what it takes for you to succeed in a $16 an hour job and succeed in a job that pays you thousands per sale. And so whatever whatever overlaps is in those two worlds, right, is that fringe right here, committing, that you were saying it's commitment, and then you have to make it non-optional. Like, this is for my family. It has to happen, right? So if you can create a not a habit, but a if your normal, your standard is, this is my minimum where I give it my all, dude, man, that is such a key, man. That is so, it makes you unstoppable. It makes you a monster. And when these opportunities present themselves, see, that's the thing that a lot of people don't. And here we're focused on the men, guys. And a lot of people don't pay attention to this, but correct me if I'm wrong. If you bust your ass in that $15 an hour job, it creates like this mentality so that when the opportunity presents itself, like, hey man, come sell with me, come do this with me, come do this with me, you're already that guy. You're already that dude that can make, $150,000, $300,000 a year. You're already that dude. It's just you're not making that money yet, but you're that dude already.
Oh yeah.
So when you show up, you're like, oh man,
I'm gonna kill it here.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, but help us understand what made you make that decision. Like, how did you, I guess, stop being lazy? How did you? So let's say Joe's listening to us right now. Joe Smith, and if you are Joe Smith, I'm sorry, it's just a random name. Joe Smith is listening to us right now, and he's just hanging out in his mom's basement and is paying child support, is doing this, is doing, just can't get out of that depression, that rut. It sees no light at the end of the tunnel. Now, you don't have a college degree, right?
No.
Okay.
None.
So you don't have a college degree, and you're making more money than a lot of people that have college degrees. So let's just say it that way. Now, for those people out there listening, oh, I don't have any education, I don't have this, I don't have that. All those excuses are literally only excuses, right? And how do you help that guy? Like, what would you tell that guy? What would you tell Manny Cordova of 3 years ago, sitting in his mom's couch smoking a pack of cigarettes a day? What's that one sentence? What's that one advice that you would say, do this today, not tomorrow, do it right now? What would you tell that guy?
Honestly, simple. Get up off your ass. Get up. Let's go. Let's make this happen. You can do it. The mind is powerful. The mind is the one thing that
Let's
no
go.
one can take.
Oh, you're pumping me up, dude.
You know, let's go. You know, honest is the word. Just get up and let's go. Because if you don't move, no one's gonna move for you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you got to really be wanting it. You know, we all go through times where we're just on the ground. We don't know what to do, but you have to have that drive, man, that fire. And I feel like we all go through that.
But how do you get the fire? How do you get there?
Going through situations.
Okay.
I feel like if you don't go through a situation, you don't know how to appreciate what's coming, what's next. Because imagine if like, have you ever heard of those stories of how the lottery changed my life?
Yeah.
Have you ever seen them? How they win these millions of dollars
and they lose everything,
and then they're broke.
That's crazy.
Why?
That's crazy.
Because of the fact that they weren't prepared to have that money in their life. They weren't prepared for that situation. Their mindset wasn't there.
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody else who already has money or who has gone through the struggle and would have got that money, what do you think would have happened? They would have probably built upon that money and done something else. Done, you know, something where it's going to generate more money versus, hey, I'm going to buy houses, cars, boats, jewelry, clothes, shoes.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, you got nothing.
Exactly, man. Because maybe what it is like for example, for me to make, let's say, $100,000, I need to sell between 5 and 6 deals. Okay, and you know how hard that is.
Oh yeah,
dude. If I sell 5 or 6 deals, you think I'm gonna go buy myself that Taylor guitar that I was telling you about? No, man. I'm like, dude, this is a grind to get. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to figure out how I can get myself 25 Taylor guitars once I have this money in my hand. You know what I mean? And that, dude, in order for you to start thinking that way and to really feel it, you have to go through what you were saying. You have to become that dude. You have to become that monster that is unstoppable. Okay. Just all I need is an opportunity. That's all I need.
Yeah.
Give me an opportunity, I'll take care of the rest.
Yep.
But how do you? So that's the other thing. Is talk to me about how. Oh, by the way, earlier when I was looking at my phone, I did want to comment on this. Okay, this is really, really, extremely, extremely important information. So in the Western world, males die by suicide 3 to 4 times more often than females and women. This greater male frequency is increased in those over the age of 65. Now, the reason why I was saying that is because depression is more common amongst men, which is you would think it's the opposite way because men have this stigma of they're not emotional creatures, even though I think the emotional aspect of your life really affects you in a lot of. So basically, what I'm trying to say is the least emotional that you are, the easier it is for you to focus on your business, for you to focus on your job, for you to focus. So controlling those emotions is kind of what I think what a big key is to being successful as well. But how do you control those emotions? How do you become that guy? How do you become that guy that stuff happens? Bad stuff is going to happen to everyone. How do you learn to react accordingly? And how do you build yourself up so that when the bad stuff happens, you're ready? Like it doesn't matter. I can take this in the chest and still walk.
So honestly, I feel that's a great question, honestly. And I feel like everything that I've been through in my whole life has built me up for this moment. Okay. I didn't grow up rich, nothing like that. You know, still not, you know, so don't get me wrong, everybody. No,
At least you're light skinned.
I'm light skinned with green eyes. So, I think every situation in your life that you go through builds you up for where you're supposed to be. You know, everyone has a plan of where they're supposed to be, right? Whether you see it, take your chance upon it, it's all totally up to you, you know, because there's people out there that didn't take the chance, you know. But I feel like, for example, getting here, having all these different jobs where they paid me basically next to nothing. Yeah. And for me to be able to still put my 100% on this job, like, okay, I'm going to put my all into this job.
Yeah, that's a whole other ball game right there, bro.
Other, man. And having the worst part is having, like, you could say family members running that job. and they
dude,
treat you like crap, but you're still there because you're loyal, because you're not going to leave it, because you need it for your family, because you need it for yourself, because you need it for them. That is the fire that keeps burning right there, man. Because you have to go every single day and say, hey, I'm going to make this money because I need it for my family. I need it because I need to pay that bill. I need to pay that car. I need to pay whatever it is that you need to pay. That when you get a chance to get here in a position where God is going to give you that chance, and he's going to put it in front of you when he feels that you're ready.
Yeah.
Because funny story, I was already working at this place, that remodeling place, for about a year, and grinding it out. And till I finally I told my wife, I said, you know what? You need a new car. Let's go find you a new car.
Yeah. Okay.
So this is how it started.
Dude. Tell me.
So we were going from dealership to dealership. And I'm pretty good with numbers, and I was like, yeah, no. My wife was too. She actually told me we were gonna buy this car. There's one dealership. I don't want to say the name, but we're gonna buy the car there.
Say it. Okay, don't say it.
And my wife I was the one that, yeah, let's go for it. I even got a little upset. I was like, come on, let's just go for it. She didn't want to. She's like, no, we're gonna wait. So finally, I was like, you know what? Let's wait. Okay. And it's a good thing that she did, because next day we woke up, and I'll say the dealership to this day because it's my dealership now. So yeah. We went to Toyota, Avondale Toyota, to be specific.
By the way, that's where my boy works, and he is killing the game there. By the way, my truck, which I'm going to do a review on for content here, I bought it from Manny.
Yep.
So when you guys see me dropping the name Manny around in my review, this is the famous Manny at Avondale Toyota. Hit him up for any vehicle needs. Now, he doesn't only sell Toyotas because they have other used stuff there, but honestly, Toyotas is the way to go. So I'm just saying.
That's correct.
But anyway, continue.
Oh yeah. So we get there, and I'm thinking that's just like any other dealership, whatever. So this guy comes out, who is not my friend. This guy comes out, and he's like, hey, what are you guys looking for? Long story short, we ended up buying a vehicle from him.
This was the
Corolla.
The Corolla. Oh, the first Corolla, the light blue. Okay.
Yeah, it was actually silver. Okay. So we ended up buying the Corolla, and then eventually we bought like 5 other vehicles from him in a short period of time. After that, I remember one day I was sitting at my job, the current one, the one right before this one, and I was depressed because I was like, man, I don't like this job. I hate it.
Well,
I don't.
Well, it was like physically demanding, huh? It was like super crazy physically demanding.
Oh yeah, I was working 6 a.m. to 12, 10, 11, 12 at night sometimes. It was very, very physical. We ate once. The owner to that place was like kind of like family, and you know what? Towards the end, he changed, and he started being more like, how can I explain this? More abusive towards us, and I guess that is what put the fire behind me even more, because I'm like, you know what?
Huh?
Yeah, because I'm like, because he treated us like towards the end, like nobody's, like, hey, you just need to get this done in my way or the highway. And, I was sitting there like a little duck, just, taking it all, to the point that just built that fire. Like, you know what? I'm going to teach you that I can be better than you, and if I ever get to your position, I'm going to be a better person than you. And finally, I called up my boy at Avondale Toyota and said, hey man, you guys hiring? And he says, yeah, come on over. He goes, but you have to have that drive. He goes, the first thing he tells me, he goes, because, here it's all about sales. And I said, trust me, I do. The fire is burning,
Yeah.
So I right away.
Woo! Dude, you don't understand. I want to go make some sales right now.
You got to go make some. Yeah, man. You got to make it happen for yourself for sure, And that's when I,
So you started interviewing?
I did the interview. I went in there, and I know what's funny? I told the guy, I said, look, man, I'm not going to come out the gates, selling a ton of cars. I said, but I'm going to be here and give it my all. I was like, I'm going to hustle from sun up to sundown. And I think he thought I was joking.
Who interviewed you? The desk guy that sold me the...
Desk guy,
yeah.
Desk guy, And he's like, you know what? No problem, man. So my first month, man, I killed it. I sold 21 cars.
Dude, 20. Okay, so you, for the people that aren't in sales,
Yeah.
right? For the people that aren't in sales. Now, Avondale Toyota is high volume. However, though, selling 21 whips in a month, nah, man, that's a whole different ball game right there.
It is.
And I have some family members that are selling cars right now at different dealerships, and I hope that they listen to this podcast because, dude, selling 21 in a month, bro, that is the equivalent to, in my world, to selling like 10 deals, bro. Like in the industry, no one does 10 deals a month in my industry, right? It's like no one sells 27 whips a month, or 21, right? 21.
Yeah, 21.
Dude, that's a crazy number. The high-end producers at other dealerships sell 17, 16, sometimes 20. Your first month, you sold 21, bro.
21.
But, so what was it? How'd you do it?
Well,
Facebook. I know. I was the first one, right? I was the first guy that you sold.
Yep. So honestly, I reached out to all my connections, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat. That's the first place you go. It's
okay. So, see, I get passionate about this because I'm in sales, right? So the first thing you did was reach every single one of your contacts, right?
Yes.
And say, hey, I'm now in car sales. If you need a car, come buy it from me, right?
Yep.
And that simple conversation with everyone in your contact list led you to sell all these cars. It led you to have this level of success your first month on the job, right? So now a lot of people, what happens is I've seen this. They start working for me and they get ashamed. They get for whatever reason they get embarrassed to tell people, hey, I'm now in this field. Hit me up for whatever you need. And it sucks because they're missing so much because somebody else is going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm probably going to take your own family member from you, and because you didn't want to do that.
Oh yeah.
Why? Because you're afraid that this isn't going to work out for you, and then you're gonna move on to the next gig, and then the next gig, and then the next gig. So what happens is that you never give it your 100% commitment. You make it life or death, like you want it more than you want to breathe.
All right.
If you don't do that, then you don't. You know what, man? Just switch jobs already. Because if you're not to that level of commitment where I need to make a sell before I breathe today, then bro, I'm sorry. Like I don't know what else to tell you. I don't know. I don't know how else to help you, because if you don't have it like that, if you don't have that just will and desire and just like no matter what, if I have to go out and knock people's doors to sell a car, I'm going to do it. Then, dude, go work somewhere else, bro.
Yeah, definitely. Salesman is definitely. There's other guys at the dealership that sell way more. I'm just like at the bottom,
Right?
But
yeah,
honestly,
because you guys are high volume though. But
yeah,
and if you tell anyone in the industry, bro, that sells cars, you sold 21 your first month, bro, they're gonna flip out. They're gonna be like,
yeah. It's and I try to keep it constant. I there is bad months. Like anything in sales, there's bad months, and don't let that keep you down. Even in life, okay, you're gonna have your bad days, bad weeks, bad months. Use that and use it to fuel yourself to be able to push yourself to the next level, be able to push yourself to the next day, to the next week, to the next month. Don't let a bad day, bad moment, bad situation ruin what you got going on, because that will always screw you. Any little screw up will make you feel like for weeks, make you feel horrible, whatever the case may be. But use that to fuel the fire.
so it's a lot more mental than people think.
It is way mental, because honestly, it's all up here. If you think negative, it's going to be negative. If you think positive things are going to come to you. Sometimes I'll be sitting at the dealership, and I'll be sitting there and I'm like, negativity hits me. I'm like, nothing's going on. It's hard. No one's coming in. Calls are where they're supposed to be. But then I'm like, you know what? No. Let's keep pushing. Something's going to come about. And all of a sudden, bam, something comes up and you're like, okay, Yeah. So it's a lot of it comes from you. Yeah. If you put out negativity, that's what you're going to get in return. Honestly, I feel that way because I've seen it work. But if you push it positive, you're going to get the positivity back. And that's how, and everything that you do, like this podcast right now, you give it your all, you explain it, whatever you want to do to make it the best podcast that you can, The coffee, you make coffee in the morning. you make the best coffee because why? Because that's what you got to put out. You know what I'm saying? And that's how you're going to get to where you want to be.
Man,
honestly,
that's so solid advice, man. That's so solid advice. Because when you give it your all to that coffee making gig, then when you get to Avondale Toyota, bro, you're just gonna get it your all again. Or if not, if you're just half-assing it all the way through, imagine half-assing at the dealership, bro. You're gonna get fired in 2 days. And the worst part is that you're gonna miss out on that big opportunity that could have changed your life. It could have changed your life, but you decided not to.
Yep.
So yeah, man. I mean,
that's correct. Yeah, man. And I've seen you, bro. You do a lot of things too. And not just me. I've seen you do a lot of things, and some things work out, some things don't work out. But what do? You keep pushing. You keep pushing. Yeah. And I've seen you do that. I've seen you, Steph. Try this, didn't work. Try that, didn't work. But tried this and worked. And you stick to it, and you keep pushing. And look, you guys now, man. You guys, not just me, but you yourself are in a great position now. And I've seen you come from the struggle.
God is
good. And now you guys are in a better position, and Steph ain't working. You're doing it all, and I'm not saying she works here at home, obviously, because taking care of babies, it's a job.
Oh my God, is it a job?
I give credit to the girls because honestly, I couldn't do it.
Bro. I'm 100% with you. Like the fact that women do that, man, that is so much more impressive than anything I can do, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy because when my wife's been ill or whatever, like for some reason, we got I don't know how it happened, but we got mono. She got mono first, and then I got it, right? So when you get mono, it's basically like the lazy disease. It's like literally, dude, it's so hard to get any energy, right? So she was down in bed, and I had to pick up around the house. Like I had to pick up her, not slack, because it wasn't on purpose. It wasn't like she was being lazy. Dude, I'd rather be out there working.
Yeah, it's tough.
It's super, super hard, man. And for those that say, see, that's why as a man, and sometimes this is insulting, a lot of guys take this the wrong way, but as a man, you need to give that to your wife. You need to have her at the house taking care of the kids and not worrying about anything else other than that. Now, if she wants to work, dude, don't be machista. If she wants to do projects, if she wants to start businesses, dude, support her as much as you can. But if she wants to stay home with the kids, it is your job to get that done. I'm sorry to be harsh, but it is. You have to. It is your responsibility. If you need to work 3 jobs,
that's what
I don't know what to tell you.
That's what you got to do.
But I will tell you this: the day that I got my wife to stop working, bro, it was one of the best days. It was one of the best days, and because I saw her in her face, like that was one of her dreams. That was one of the things that she wanted. She wanted to stay at home mom, be a stay at home mom, and spend all day with her child, and get her house decorated how she wants, and do whatever she wants at the house. Right now, my wife is a very determined, kind of like Selena. Dude, they have a lot of similarities because my wife, by 16, she already had 3 businesses. She had a nail salon, she did Herbalife, and then she did a couple of things. But that's how she grew up. Like that's her dad is. Yeah. You know their dad.
Business minded.
I mean, just great. I mean, he owns avocado farms. He owns all ranches, all kinds of stuff like that, right? And really quick about my story, and I know this podcast is getting on to the limit here, but when I first met my suegros, my in-laws, they, dude, I was broke. It was bad, man. Now, I was becoming that dude, slowly. I do have a college degree. I did go to ASU. I graduated from WP Carey, and I actually graduated cum laude. Like I graduated really good GPA, so on and so forth. The thing is that I didn't want to work for anybody. I didn't want to be somebody's little soldier because my experience in that, in fact, my dad has 2 master's degrees, okay? 2 of them, 2 master's degrees. And the dude gets fired all the time. And I'm sorry if you've listened to this, Dad, my stepdad, I'm sorry if you listen to this, but it's true, man. Yeah. I mean, the fact that, you can have a doctorate and whatever. And I paid a lot of money for my degree, but whoever I work for can just fire me whenever the hell they want. For whatever reason they want. Yeah. And so, and they can mistreat you kind of like where you were being mistreated before. So, but anyway, so the point that I was trying to make though is, I lost my train of thought.
No, you know what? I'll pick it up from right there. Cause as you were speaking, bro, you're just building up this fire. Honestly, what you're trying to say is you can have the degree, you can have all that, but one thing that they can never take away from you or they can't fire you for is your hustle, your mentality, your drive, your build to do something that you believe in.
You become that dude.
You become that dude, man. And it's just, no one can ever take it. You can get fired from this job, but guess what? You're going to go to the next job and you're going to build that fire and you're going to rock it. You know what I'm saying? So paper is great, you know, just to tell me that you are
doing
educated. But one thing,
degree,
you know, but one thing that I see is, especially for me, because I'm that dude, you're that dude. One of the things that I see in men right away is he the hustler or he's the one being hustled? You know, you know what I'm saying? So for me, bro, I'm a wolf, not a sheep. I go out there and get it. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of sheep and there's a lot of meat to eat. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I go with this. Okay. And that's who you are right there.
That's a bar right
there. Is that, you know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, that's the point I'm pretty sure you were trying to make, but I just picked it up, you know?
Yeah, man. I lost my train of thought, but I think I got it back. Basically, the day that Steph stopped working, man, it was one of the best days of my life. And the thing is that Steph she's a very business minded person, like extremely, right? Yeah. So she's very solid in everything she does. She's very consistent, kind of like Selene. I mean, Selene, your wife, dude, the fact that she was cooking pies and cheesecakes and then went out and hustled them, bro. Like, bro, dude, that is a whole different level of entrepreneurship. That is a whole. I mean, that is just, it's crazy because a lot of people, hopefully people are listening to this, but I know a bunch of 19-year-olds that have way more energy, that don't have any kids, that don't have any responsibilities, and they don't do stuff like that.
Oh no.
And so why is that? Like, why are we a society that's so chumpy like that? Like that doesn't have any thrive, any commitment to doing stuff like that. And that's why I, you know, harping back to this podcast is that's why I wanted to get this started and to help young men out like that. I know there's plenty of help out there, but you and I are just regular dudes. We're not millionaires on a podcast. We're not these, by the way, 2023, se les acabó su gordito. I'm no longer going to be fat. So I'm committing in front of everyone that I'm not. So, but you know, we're just regular dudes that so happen to have this microphone right now and are recording this podcast. But there is nothing different between somebody listening to us and us right now. So the fact that we are walking testimony of this is proof that it doesn't matter where you are in your life right now. It does not matter. You can get out of there. There is light at the end of the tunnel. There is an exit to your problem. There is an exit to your depression. There is an exit to your anxiety. And how do you get there? Listening to stuff like this.
Yep.
But more importantly is that bank job that you have right now, that construction job that you have right now. Dude, show up today or tomorrow if you're listening to this podcast, you know, on a weekend or whatever. Show up and just freaking kill it, bro. Give the best customer service. Give the best, like drain yourself. Like give it all. Yep. Because if you do that consistently every single day, and then I show up with an opportunity saying, hey man, come sell with me because I like what you're made of. Dude, my guys make an average of $6,000 a deal, bro. An average. So you can make more. You can make a little less too, but average of $6,000. Yeah. Imagine just making 2 or 3 sales a month, bro. That's life-changing money. So, and I'm nobody, bro. Like there's guys that are way bigger fit. I mean, I'm literally nobody. So when that somebody shows up to that bank to deposit $100,000 and sees you, dude, he's going to be like, hey man, what's your name?
Yeah.
You know, hey, come work with me. But if you're not prepared, bro, you're going to miss out on that. So, so I think that is the message of this podcast today is become that dude, show up, bust your ass, no matter if you're counting dollar bills at the bank, if you are
pushing a sweeper,
dude, if
using a shovel,
dude, if you're a waiter, if you are a bus boy, do whatever you are, do it to the best of your ability. But not only that, become that dude doing it, become that monster, just picking up that dog poop, mowing that lawn, like become that dude serving people their food and just give it your all, because that is slowly building you for that next opportunity that's going to show up. And I also want to add on to that.
not only that will it make you the best of what you're doing, but that's also going to help your personal life. When you go home, you're going to be that dude. You're going to be that dude that's going to push, take your family to the next level, have your kids, whatever you want to call it. But it's also going to help you in your personal life and your mentality to where you're going to become unstoppable on and off the job. You're just going to be unstoppable. You're going to be able to face challenges in life. You're going to be able to, come out with an answer, solve a problem, whatever the case may be, because you're going to be that dude. You are that dude, So
come on, Manny.
Let's go, guys,
Right. So with that being said, guys, this is an hour podcast, and it was a little bit longer than I thought. Manny, thank you so much, brother, for being here today, man. I really, really appreciate your friendship, your time, your disposition to be here today with us. Guys, expect the next podcast. Manny, once again, we're going to have you on here again, bro.
Let's go.
You're invited whenever you want. Anyway, so let's shout out Manny one more time. What's your Instagram so people can reach out?
Manny _ Cordova.
So is it Manny with two N's?
Yes, Manny with two N's.
Manny with two N's _ Cordova. And he's at Avondale Toyota here in Arizona. Can people buy from you outside of the state?
Yes, they can. They can buy used, not new. But if you guys want to follow me, it's called Manny at Avondale Toyota. You can find me on Facebook as well. So, or you can call me.
Okay.
So,
okay. Do you want to give your phone number?
Yeah, that's fine. Call me at 602-688-0123. Give me a shout out. Give me a text. Call whenever. I'll be there.
Perfect. Now, Manny did sell me my truck at MSRP during the peak of there was no trucks to be found anywhere, and you needed to pay a premium for them, $15,000 over sticker, and I bought it for sticker. So he's definitely the guy to go to. So once again, guys, thanks for coming on this podcast, and thanks for your time. Have yourself a good rest of your day. Peace.